Hey everyone, Jonathan here with today's Friday Fish Facts. Today's Friday's Fish Facts, we're going to be talking about the blue tang fish. This is the fish that is a bold and unforgettable fish that many of you probably recognize from Finding Nemo. This one in particular is the one that will be found in the Indo-Pacific regions of the world. There is a secondary one that you may recognize in the Caribbean and in the Atlantic Ocean. That one's called the Atlantic Blue Tang, but today we're going to be focusing on the Indo-Pacific Blue Tang fish. So, a couple generic names that you may see with a blue tang fish is you might hear it called the hippo tang, a regal blue tang, a palate surgeonfish, a blue surgeonfish, and the royal blue tang fish. That one's the royal blue tang is one that you'll hear for the Pacific Ocean. In the Indo-Pacific, or excuse me, the royal blue tang is what you'll be hearing about in the Atlantic blue tang fish, and the regal blue tang is about the Indo-Pacific. So let's talk a little bit how you can identify this fish while you're out diving. First off, most of it is a royal blue body with a yellow tail. Very easy to spot out there. Along the body are dark, kind of swirl like black patterns. That's kind of like a painter's brushstroke, is how it's described. However, the juveniles of these is actually like opposite coloring. It's going to have a bright yellow body with a blue fin out there. As they get older, they switch their colors into a blue-yellow combination that you see here. They're oval shape in size, in shape, with a flattened body, so very sleek out there. This makes them excellent to be able to dart through the corals. You probably see them if you got close to them. They just dart around and will dart in and out of the coral heads. So, as I mentioned before, this is the blue tang that is in the Indo-Pacific region of the coral reefs, especially along East Africa, Japan, Samoa, Great Barrier Reef, obviously, because we all know that from Finding Nemo, and all across Micronesia. So you'll be able to find this over there. They typically prefer nice, shallow waters. In that, I mean something between 6 feet to 130 foot depth out there. So right in the recreational dive range that we are all diving in. Their favorite spot to hang out, as you probably noticed while you're out diving, is in the coral reefs. And this is mainly because that's where their food grows in abundance. We'll get into what their favorite food is here in just a second. The average size of one of the blue tang fish can be anywhere between 10 and 12 inches, with some growing upwards of 15 inches in size. They're relatively lightweight, which allows them to sip along those coral heads out there. Their lifespan can be anywhere in the wild from 8 to 20 years, and I've even read some places they will say up to 30 years. However, if you try to capture these and put them into your aquariums at home, they have a much, much shorter lifespan out there. And that's mainly because reef fish such as this kind are very tricky to care for. And I'll talk about that in a second too. For the most part, the fish are herbivores as they are juveniles, or excuse me, herbivores as adults, and when they're juveniles, they're more omnivores. When they're adults, their main meal is algae. So what you'll see them do is they'll be coming in and they'll be scraping off little pieces of rocks, the algae off the rocks to eat. They have very sharp beak-like teeth that they can scrape that algae with. And this performs a critical role in the health of our corals out there. And that critical role is by scraping off that algae, they're now allowing the corals to grow and expand, and so they don't get smothered by algae out there. So that's good for us, so we can enjoy the beautiful corals, and it helps them survive because they have their plant life food. As I mentioned, when they're juveniles, they are omnivores. This means that they will eat meat and stuff like that. Well, the typical meat they'll eat as juveniles will be plankton along with that algae. So you'll see them eating plankton as juveniles, and as they get older, they become herbivores eating just the algae out there. So now we mentioned earlier that they have that oval shape out there, and that puts them in the class, the family of sturgeon fish. This is mainly because of the sharp scalpel-like spines that they got, very right there, in the spines that they have on either sides of their tails out there. These spines on their tails can pop out, and that is used as a defense mechanism. While not aggressive, I've never seen one get aggressive on a diver, but they will pop out those spines if they feel threatened. They can perform and deliver a powerful cut to their enemies or even careless divers out there. But for the most part, they will just swim away from you. However, if they do feel threatened, one of their other defense mechanisms is that they will lay flat and motionless. And this allows them to play dead to their enemies, in which their enemies will not then want to eat a dead fish. So they lay flat for them and motionless in the water. As I mentioned, they are popular. Some people like to try and get them into aquariums. However, they're not easy to keep. And this is mainly because they require very large tanks in perfect water conditions and plenty of algae to grow so they can graze on that. So this is why they're not an easy fish to be keeping at home. And sadly, because of people and because of Finding Nemo, people really want to have these fish. And because of that, they're getting over collected and used in the pet trade, and has really put a hurt onto their wild population. So let's enjoy them out in the wildlife, not put them in our home tanks. If you want some home tank fish, look for something that's better and easier to take care of. One last fun fact about them: they are vibrant blue. However, this is due to the way the light is coming in and refracting off their body. It's not due to any blue pigments in their scales or anything like that. However, if you get under different light conditions, you may see them to look slightly purple or even slightly black. So that again is based on how that light's coming in and refracting off their body. So all in all, the blue tangs are a very small but amazing fish with dazzling colors, unique defenses out there, and they have that important life for us on that coral reef. So they are one of the most fascinating fish out there. So next time you spot one of them out in the wild gliding through, keep an eye, don't harass them, but enjoy our friends, the blue tang fish. And so that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want more, again, let me know different fish species or animal species that you would like to hear. If not, I hope to see you out diving anytime soon. Have a good day.